Hello and welcome to the Dark Reading News Desk from Black Hat USA 2025 at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. We are thrilled to have you join us for a conversation with someone who's making a bit of a splash here at Black Hat, Yoav Magid, correct? I got that right?
Yeah.
Senior security researcher for Lumia Security. We are here to talk about his new research, Apple Storm, Unmasking the Privacy Risks of Apple Intelligence. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so just Apple Intelligence is the new tool that Apple is using, an AI assistant tool. Is that the right way to?
I think to be more precisely, Apple Intelligence is kind of their new infrastructure to AI, like the combination of local processing, on-device processing, and with their private cloud compute. And together, they launched many new apps in the last year, like writing tools, image tools, even Siri is now more powerful with the capabilities of Apple Intelligence.
So this suite of apps is running on this Apple Intelligence infrastructure, and what you are able to find are really the risks of putting all of that potentially sensitive information into this environment. Is that correct?
Yeah, so basically in the last year, I worked to check which features of the many AI apps in Apple Intelligence, how they work, which one goes directly on the user device and which one goes to their servers. And when we go to their servers, which kind of data do we share with them? What do we agree to do with our data? That was my research about. Most of my findings were around Siri and some of the intersections with their new extensions feature, the combination of ChatGPT and Siri and the writing tools.
And so what did you find? It's a big privacy concern. I mean, that to you, that was the major issue, is just is correct?
Yeah, I think one of my major findings will be about the fact that it will be surprised how much info Apple thinks they need to know about us in order to answer very simple questions. Like you might activate Siri, you'll ask it, what is the weather today? And you'll be very surprised how much context they collect over you to answer this very simple question.
So like as an example, if I wanted to know the weather, what other stuff is Apple Intelligence gathering about me?
To be more precisely, it's Siri that collects the data.
Siri, okay.
And they, for example, they might send, what are you listening at that moment? You might ask about the weather, and then, for example, if you listen to a Taylor Swift song on YouTube, Siri is going to know that, and it's going to be sent to Apple servers.
And so was this built in? Is this not a bug, but a feature? I mean, it seems to me that in this new AI game, companies are just grabbing whatever they can as quickly as they can.
Yeah, I think most of it are actually features. I think the user is not really aware of that because nobody today reads the privacy policies. But there are a few things that I think, in my opinion, there are like kind of bugs. For example, you might interact with WhatsApp or iMessage through Siri. You can ask Siri to dictate or write a message to a friend, and you'll be surprised that you thought that there is end-to-end encryption with WhatsApp, and you seem like that the message is being sent to Apple servers. And this is surprising because you thought that, okay, WhatsApp is on my device, they need to communicate with WhatsApp in order to send that, but apparently it's being sent to Apple servers. And
so the WhatsApp will send the message encrypted, but then the Siri app sends the information back to Apple.
Yeah, back to Apple together with contact information, his name, his phone number, and I'm not sure it's like a feature because I can block all Apple communication from my device and the feature still works, so the communication is not really needed.
So broadly speaking, if I am in an enterprise and I'm saying to myself, this is something these AI agents are the thing, we all have to figure out how to use them. How should we be approaching this? How should business leaders be looking at how they roll out these tools?
Yeah.
Or is the genie out of the bottle and it's just is what it is?
So I think what most concerned today is AI comes in different shapes every day. Like it can be on your browser, on your desktop, and it can be part of your operating system. We saw it here in Apple Intelligence, Gemini on Android, and Copilot on Microsoft. I think what most companies, enterprises can do right now, it's to redefine the governance all over again, because in the last year, since the AI era started, along 2 years ago even, CISOs were shouting about, okay, we're afraid what our employees are doing, what they're uploading, is our data being trained? Many questions, but I think that this research show another highlight about other topics, about context. Like I can ask a simple question like a weather, and the context that they collect over me, it's the real issue here. And I think that companies should implement as fast as they can governance tool, AI governance tool.
Now, how would that look? It would be Apple AI would you could deploy it, but there would be governors on it. How would that look inside an organization?
I think the first things that CISOs should have is the visibility. Like there's governance tools that need to give the CISO the bigger picture, like what's going on in their organization, which data is being sent to AI models, which kind of data, what kind of them put you in risk. I think this is the first step. Before talking about policy and how to enforce them, visibility is the first thing. And in this research, it shows that the large vendors are not really thinking about it. Like Apple made it really hard to find these issues.
Did they?
Yeah, really hard. Like I bashed my head against the wall for many hours to find these issues. And it wasn't that easy. And I think that is the reason why governance should evolve.
What you can do in your house rather than looking to Apple or these other. Let me ask you, how has Apple, have they been receptive to your research? Have you been communicating with them? What was their reaction?
Yeah, so I created a proper disclosure to them after I found these issues.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was very surprised. They said, okay, there's something interesting here. We're going to fix it. We're going to address these issues. 3 months later, woke up on the other side and they said, okay, these issues are kind of expected, like behavior is expected, and we're not going to address them because there are features that are mentioned in a vague way in their privacy policy. And lately, actually, yesterday night, they reached out and they said that about the WhatsApp issue, that this might be a problem and they may be going to address that. So
pretty vague.
Very vague. Yeah, the entire conversation was from one side to another side every month.
Interesting. And so what has the reaction been amongst your research peers? I mean, are they surprised by your findings? Are they saying, well, of course, all this contextual information is being sucked up?
I think on the one hand, it's surprising because, Apple emphasizes privacy. And it's surprised the amount of data that they collect on us, and we don't know what happened with us. Like, they have their many promises about private cloud compute, but as we see here in this research, most of our data isn't even sent to the private cloud compute. And on the other hand, after I woke up from my talk today, I was very surprised to hear from people that during your talk, we already applied policies to block the specific domains you mentioned about. So
can't get any better than that.
Yeah, it seems like people are very surprised about that, and they are concerned about this.
Interesting. Yeah. And so when you talk about reasserting governance and I assume this applies not just to Apple. I assume that you would want this to apply to Copilot and all of these other.
ChatGPT, everywhere, yeah.
Okay, how complicated of a job is that to say? I mean, you said these people were able to do it from their phones while you were talking. So this isn't a big lift, or is it?
So I think that what's most concerned here, it's not what you mentioned about Copilot, ChatGPT, or Gemini. I think that what's most concerned here is many new AI apps comes every day. People creating new apps, and users are getting to these apps, and they upload their content. They don't know what happened with that. It can be from their device, their phone, their computer, and these governance tools need to be able to detect all of this, not just by sitting on their laptop. It's their phone, it's the laptops, it's everywhere.
Okay, and so you, personally, do you use these AI tools? How do you, in your own personal work, how do you balance sort of the speed and the efficiency of these AI tools and the potential privacy risk?
So I use a lot in AI tools, too many, to be actually. But the first step I do with every AI app is first, I will not read the privacy policy, but I'll definitely go to the settings and see that they're not opting me into a learn from this app program. I disable it at first. This is the first step we need to do. And I always take some consideration what kind of data I shared and with which app. For example, ChatGPT, okay, we have an agreement with them. They're not trained over our data. But with other apps, I don't upload every kind of data to their servers.
And so in just the short amount of time that we have left, where can our audience find out more about this blockbuster research, and where can they find your work?
Yeah, so I published actually a few hours ago a blog post on Lumia security website with all the technical details and all of my findings. So I encourage everyone to go read and challenge the findings. It's already there.
Wonderful. Yoav, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your important work. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. This has been an interview with Yoav Magid from Lumia Security from the Dark Reading News Desk at Black Hat USA 2025.